is Power Play. Hi, Internet. Welcome back to our new digs that we're enjoying here. This is pretty cool. I don't know. I don't have a giant iPad, but I am indoors and don't have to walk around town, so I'm okay with that. I am also okay with the fact that Charlie Hurt is with us still, and David Mercer, who is the former Deputy National Finance Director for the Democratic National Committee. He is a Democratic strategist. He is hireable to do things, to win races, to make people change their minds. He is also eminently followable at Beltway. Gentlemen, welcome. How do you like our new set? Go ahead, say you love it. Go ahead, say you love it.
Wonderful studio.
Don't fight it.
You should have a stand-in audience here.
Oh, I don't think.
A little bleacher section.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be pelted with fruit in here, okay? And I do want to point this out, that we're able to get to a lot more chats now because we're seated. And Kat K says, I agree with Charlie Hurt. Chris was exceptional against Juan last night. Thank you. And I do want to kind of talk about that a little.
Exceptional is one of those
right,
words
exactly,
that we sometimes
a very special edition of Power Play.
Yes,
David, the question is this, and this wasn't the original question, so you're not prepared for it, but you know the answers anyway. What we were talking about last night and what is carried over in today is when you think about this, the United States economy is not great. It's okay. It's not great. We have $17 trillion in debt. We have deep problems. We are poorly governed. We are heinously governed. And today, the market is soaring. People are enthusiastic because there's going to be a deal. But what we have essentially done is we're like in a John boat with a huge leak in the bottom of it, and there's water gushing into the boat. We are excited because the oarfish that came into the boat and was biting our face, we're going to throw back out of the boat. This is not a season for celebration. This should be a moment of lamentation, yes?
Well, I think the element of celebration comes with the fact that, or with the hope that we're not going to go over the fiscal cliff and into a potential default and all the consequences that go along with it. That is to say, however, there's still going to be a lot of work, as you mentioned, the issues that we have to deal with between now and January and February of next year, provided that the plan that's being developed in the Senate gets through the House. And so I think it's a measured response. You're seeing both a short-term response and a long-term 3-4 month response that puts it in balance, if you will. Short-term, there's some optimism that we got through this, not taking away the gains that we've made in making progress on overcoming the recession and not setting us back. But at the same time, hopefully the wheels don't come off again in the next 3 to 4 months.
Senators, breaking news from Kara Rowland, whom you know from Capitol Hill. She says that senators are likely to announce a deal on the floor after the Senate convenes at noon. She says that people are speculating a bit, but it's likely that that's where it'll happen, so we're going to expect to see this deal soon. Charles Hurt, here's the thing. And Jackie Holmes had a piece in the New York Times today in which the victory that, and this is to David's point, the victory that they're celebrating in the White House is the fact that the president, after negotiating over these things 3 or 4 times before, we have been, as I am always saying, 34 consecutive months in some sort of fiscal calamity. We are on a cliff, just between cliffs, just over a cliff. 34 consecutive months of craziness. And the president's negotiated eventually in each of those points. The celebration, according to Jackie Holmes in the New York Times, quoting people inside the administration, and she ought to know, is that the point of celebration is they made it through this and didn't have to negotiate.
If I were in their shoes, I would be pretty stoked as well. I mean, coming into this fight, they had everything going against them. And they really had their back up against the wall, and they managed to give up nada, not a single responsible step towards responsible fiscal governance did they have to give up. And so for them, it's a twisted victory. It's a sick victory, but that's a victory for them.
David.
Politically. But hold on. But I would like to say one thing, because we spend so much time trashing the Republicans and trashing John Boehner. Everybody wants to talk about reckless, this is, and how John Boehner and these Republicans and these crazy Tea Party people want to drive the bus over the cliff and all this kind of stuff. And, whatever. I take you back to the first 2 years of the President Obama's administration. He had a filibuster-proof Senate, he had a full control of the House, and he had the White House. If they wanted to raise taxes, do whatever they wanted to do, go and arrest millionaires and take all their property and pay for all this stuff, they could have done just about anything that they wanted to. And even if people like me think that it would be crazy to do, they could have done it, and they could have righted the fiscal ship. They didn't do it. And so for Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and President Obama to sit back now and talk about how fiscal recklessness on the part of John Boehner and the Republicans in the House, it's like, really? Because, you all ran all the tables.
So, David, after midterms, the Democrats are going to take all the millionaires' money and pay for things?
They are not.
No.
That's not. No, I see right here.
We know,
It's on the notes.
we know
Says,
what
"Don't
goals
mention
to set
this."
and what to go after,
Right.
unlike what happened with the Republicans in this whole situation where they went after 40 repeals of Affordable Care Act. They still go and try to put this on the table in debating the debt ceiling limit or shutting down government. And 70% of the American people did not want to defund Obamacare if it meant shutting down the government. So we know what goals to go for
It's
and
an admirable
achieve.
thing. That's how you
If I might
win.
But if I might just take us back even more recently, there had been both houses passed a budget, House and Senate, and there were 19 requests of Boehner to put a conference together to negotiate those budgets. He failed to do so, which kept pushing forward to the line
It's almost as bad as
where we are now in October. And this could have totally been avoided, especially because Democrats had compromised on the number that was in the House budget to $986 billion.
Right.
So we could have avoided this and not had the waste of time that we've had.
Many things could have been avoided. Almost
Absolutely.
nothing ever is in Washington because we're again, you are very poorly governed, Internet. You are very poorly governed. Don't play with that, Charles Hearn. And here's what. Here's what is that. Thank you guys for making the appearance here. It's like being on Moonraker. I would rather have been with that gal who was with Roger Moore in that. I can't remember what her name is, but you guys will do in a pinch, right? Quite so. Okay, fellows. Thank you, and you, Internet. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, the Starship Power Play will blast off into the next arena, which is about how the website for the President's Health Insurance Entitlement Program came to be the way it is. Peter Ducey is one you like, Internet, and he will tell you when we come back, so stick around.